NHL Takes Frolic. And I'm going to be looking at, the big news today. Jim Hiller uh, taken as coach by the Toronto Maple Leafs. Looks like Babcock will be the coach in Edmonton. There's some Hellebuck talk out there. Take a look at that. I got some theories on that. And I'm going to try to stay away from the Larkin stuff. I talked a lot about it already. And many of the McTavish talked about that as well. But first, we'll get into those, and then we'll maybe move on to other stuff as people talk in the chat. I invited Larry. Rico should be coming on. He's going to want to talk about Toronto and Hiller for sure. That he's a big Leafs guy, if you don't know. I found my old Hartford hat, by the way, so I wore brown and green for some reason. I don't know why, but I thought I lost it, and popped up again. I was like going through my closet and I saw it. I don't know. I went through my closet before and didn't see it, but found it now. So Jim Hiller. Okay, he seemed to be like the worst coach in the league the last 2-3 years. In Edmonton, or when he played the last series against Edmonton, he inexplicably played Edvinsson like 30 plus minutes a night and didn't play Clark or Spence at all. Like 5 minutes, maybe a night. Edmondson was not better than either one of them. And he was old. He also shortened his lines quite a bit. He refused to play the fourth line. Now, I admit that fourth line wasn't very good, but they were gassed by the fifth game or so. You could tell. And then he tried a 1-2-2 in 2024 system in the neutral zone, and that didn't last long. He went back to the 1-3-1 that LA was known for. It played very tight. And I guess you could make a case that maybe they didn't have the offense to play the 1-2-2, and he just figured it wasn't working out, and he basically just played for draws. Now, what I saw was a team that played not to lose rather than to win, and he looked extremely nervous behind the bench a lot, like very nervous. He had a very nervous energy behind the bench, and it seemed that affected the players. Well, they got Laviolette there now. Hiller was let go. Laviolette plays a man-on-man, generally speaking. He's one of the best coaches I've ever seen institute a man-on-man system as quickly as he does. Now, when you got CC and Edmondson and Dumoulin, I'm not sure man-on-man is going to work out too well for those guys, but we'll see. Maybe they change things up in LA. They brought Panarin in for more offense and kind of had mixed results. I mean, he gets his points like he normally does. So how is that going to translate to Toronto? I'm going to... I'm stumbling on myself here. I'm trying to think. I mean, I heard the press conference. It seems like he is open to doing things different ways. It seems like he's very analytically driven. Now, one thing you will say about LA is that they did have pretty good possession numbers in LA, but they just couldn't score. He generally plays a collapse. Now, I mean, this could be different in Toronto. I don't know. Maybe he just realized his defense wasn't very good, so he played a very simple collapse. system that took away the middle of the ice quite a bit, that really relies on forwards to come back. It's quite possible that Hiller was just utilizing what he had and making the best of what he had. Let's hope for Toronto. But in that system, you need players that come back, and you need to play a system that basically doesn't allow for too much risky offensive plays that's going to keep you out of position to getting back into your spots. In the offensive zone, he is a possession coach. That's one thing that never changed. He's not really a dump and chase guy. He believes in looking for your spots, holding up in the neutral zone somehow, and keeping possession. As far as offense is concerned, they didn't get a lot of shot volume. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Tampa Bay didn't either when they won their cups. Looking for spots to shoot from that are here. Rico is in the house. Okay.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, so I'm trying to put a positive spin on this Hiller deal. The more I dug into it, it's quite possible that Hiller was just doing what he thought he could with what he had there in LA. He tried to put it. The more I looked at in the beginning of 2024, he tried to go with a 2-2-1 system that gave offensive players more freedom to produce offense, and that lasted maybe a month, and then he was back to the 1-3-1. That was what LA's Leslie McClellan put in too, and Sutter and everything. He was back to the 1-3-1, playing a collapsed defense. All of these things tell me that he didn't trust his forwards to score or be creative, and he didn't trust his defense. So he demanded forwards to come back and play that system. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe he did the best with a lineup that just wasn't very good, I guess. But he had Fiala, had Kempe. Kopitar was getting on the tail end. He wasn't what he was before. Byfield struggled with offense. We'll see if that changes under Laviolette. But the thing I can't get out of my head is that, we talked about it lots when he played Edmondson like 30 plus minutes a night, and other defensemen as well, and basically sat Clark and Spence, and they burnt out by the game 5 and they lost to the Oilers. I can't get that out of my head.
Yeah, dude, you took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, and that's something we all watched, and we all saw it develop in real time, like in that series.
Yeah.
Right? But I mean, Hiller did reiterate that his media availability about how he's got a little bit different talent on this Toronto team, and he's not locked into the system potentially that he was in Los Angeles, because he's got a little bit different players there. And apparently Matthews really, really likes him.
Yeah.
And which kind of helps as well. So, I mean, it's interesting, man. Toronto's got a reputation now of keeping shit under wraps when it comes to rumors out there in the media. I mean, that's not a bad trait for a new GM to keep things under wraps like that. Nobody saw that Woll trade coming, and then nobody in the media has said Hiller's name once. So
I did hear that Hiller was a candidate. I did hear that, but I mean, it wasn't like he was a leading candidate or anything like that. And then all of a sudden, boom, Hiller was hired. So,
and at first thought, as soon as people hear Hiller's name without looking into it deeply, like guys like you that cover hockey a little bit more than just seeing his name out there, everybody's just first shot reaction was everybody wanted the flashy guy, right? The Patrick was like the guy from Vegas, or what's his name? Okay,
Cassidy.
yeah, so everybody wanted like Cassidy. Everybody was expecting a Patrick Roy. Everybody was expecting a big name, and then they hear him, and then that's their first reaction, right? So then
It was my first reaction with this is horrible because like I said,
yeah,
that playoffs really got me. And I mean, last year, I was just saying, like last year, it seemed to me that LA was playing not to lose rather than trying to win. And he looked really nervous behind the bench a lot. Like you could almost, like he looked like he was going to have a cardiac arrest half the time.
for sure. This is one
So
of those things where you hopefully the second chance comes into effect. You know, when you get a coach that had a first chance somewhere and they're sometimes better in their second chance and they know what they've done right and what they've done wrong, and hopefully they learn along the way. So I mean, I'm interested to see what he's getting paid. I'm probably thinking maybe a couple million, maybe 2-3 million a year.
maybe less money coach too, because they probably might have had restrictions on what they could pay with all the coaches they're paying. They're finally going, hey, like,
yeah, that'll come out. That doesn't come out. Like no reporter's gonna ask that today, and they won't tell. They don't have to say that today.
Who are they paying now? They're paying Berube. Are they? No, they're not paying Keefe anymore.
I don't know if they're still paying Babcock or not, but that was a while.
Yeah, and that's the other thing we're going to be talking about. But with he got kind of Chayka kind of got shit on for that Wall trade, but I think Wall's a pretty replaceable goaltender. Like he can play well, but over long stretches he seems to wear down pretty quick, and he's injury prone. Like at best, I think he's like a 1B, like a solid 1B. Like I think we were talking before you called me this morning. I think he'll do well in Philadelphia in that spot with Vladar. I think that's a perfect spot for him. And I don't think that they were comfortable using him at a lot, and he's making 3.3. I think they got like 4.5 million, something like that, in cap space out of that deal. I mean, that's in this NHL, that's a lot. So they have opportunities now to use that cap space to get better. All this Nyes talk out there. What do you? There's talk about Nyes now. I don't know. I'd be surprised, to say the least.
I don't think so either, because the way everything seems to be shaping right now is just a retool on the fly here. I think they want to keep competing. I don't think they're taking that big of a step backwards here, especially by hiring Hiller and making these moves. But yeah, the Matthew Nyes, I don't know who's throwing that out there. The kid just signed a deal there. His buddies with Matthews. I don't think he really goes anywhere.
I think it's possible.
Nothing's untouchable, of course, if they throw his name out there, maybe just to kind of see what they can get for him. But
right, and I think possible, like what's going on with Hellebuck, and we're going to talk about that later, but I think it's possible you take a chip like that just to get a feel of what teams might be willing to give up for in their lineup, and looking at maybe other trades that you could do to acquire that. So I think St. Louis did that with Thomas at the deadline. And like I said, my lean was that they did that because they really have been trying to trade Shen for a long time. So Thomas would bring a lot of communication in with teams out there, and they could possibly divert the conversation over to Shen. It seemed to work with the Islanders. They looked like they overpaid there, and maybe that's what Toronto's doing, is they're putting up some names like this just to get the conversation going, to see what their options could be.
yeah, for sure, man. I mean, things are happening fast, dude. Like as soon as that Stanley Cup final ended, there's a lot of stuff going on. things are happening by the day. There'll be more news coming out tomorrow with stuff going on.
It does sound like they're really interested in Radish. That's one thing that I've seems that they're really interested in Radish. That's only one player, but I mean, I like the player. You brought up that maybe he might not be able to be as successful in Toronto as he is in Tampa, as he was in Tampa. It could very well be. I mean, all of his analytics spiked all the shit last year, but he was progressing well all the way through. So that name just keeps on popping up all the time. I've heard Jenner a couple times too. But besides that, I haven't heard anything, and that might be what we're seeing here with Shaka. Like you said, it's kind of refreshing in a way, keeping things under wraps and not letting things out and keeping things in house. Only putting out stuff that they want to have out there. Well, maybe Nyes is just pure speculation. I don't know, but maybe it has nothing to do with anything. But with Toronto, like you said, they made 2 moves that nobody saw coming. And I can't say previous to this that you would say that. Usually the moves they made, like, were already talked about weeks before they actually made the moves before.
Yeah, I don't mind that Emil Andre. I think Philly needed to get more toughness on the blue line. Like, they got that right-handed shot there. They got defense there. They just needed maybe like a depth Benoit guy, but somebody else instead of Urson to be a 1B. And like Emil Andre was a plus 15. I mean, decent puck mover. He's a little bit on the smaller side, but somebody can definitely contribute more to what the Leafs need, rather than, Carlo and Benoit and Tanev. And like, the Leafs' biggest problem this year was getting the fucking puck out of the zone and get that first pass out of the zone to their forwards. Like, nobody can get it out of their zone. They kept getting hemmed in. I mean, you got guys like McCabe, he's an all right defenseman, but Carlo, like Morgan Riley was just the only guy. And then now he's talked about as potentially being asked to move his no trade as well too. But I mean, you insulate some more puck movers on that Leafs defense core. Decent 2-way guy, undersized a bit, but at least he can move the puck out of zone. I'd take Emil Andre over Benoit all day long. And then you get that pick attached to it as well. And Toronto's got a goaltending coming up. Like, they're winning the Calder Cup right now. Bit of an undersized goalie, Akhtamov or whatever the hell his name is, but he's playing well. They got Hill to be there. Stolarz, his health is going to be a question too. If he can stay healthy and take a full workload of a number 1 goalie, or just get a solid tandem again. I don't think Stolarz can play the amount that number 1s can, so just either Hill to be or Akhtamov, and hopefully one of those 2 guys could easily turn into a Joseph Wall. I mean, with reliability and performance, I don't see them being any worse than Joseph Wall.
But maybe they got their eye on another goaltender out there too. It's possible.
Yeah.
But Emil Andre, I mean, he has progressed every year the last 3 years. He played against low comp last year, but he did it pretty successfully. Like, he didn't really hurt you, in playing against lower lineups. But who knows? His upside might be well. I'm intrigued by Toronto because, again, Shaka is known to be, is coming in as a analytics driven GM, but not only analytics driven. So we'll see. I mean, I just want to see what he can do. Like, it's hard for me to judge. In Arizona, I mean, he had a really hard situation there. He had an owner that was an a-hole, apparently blocked trades that he wanted to do and all kinds of stuff. But if you look at those teams back then, like that team back then, one thing he did do is, I believe it was him that brought in did he bring in Jalmerson and I'd have to look back, but they had a really strong D there for a while.
Mhm.
Not Grigorenko, is it not? How come his name is escaping me? But yeah, Yandel not so much. But they had a really solid D. Ekman Larson when he was good. So he built up the D, and then this Talkett was coach at that time, and they just didn't have much offensive depth. But I
And
thought
plus,
he had
Hiller's got a little bit of an analytic background too. I guess Hiller
yeah,
owned some type of analytic company as well too.
yeah, he did. Yeah, I think that's partially why I'm. You know what? My first instinct was it was terrible, but the more I'll try to erase that whatever happened with Edmonton and all that.
Yeah.
Then I just don't get what happened there.
Unless those kids, Pearlo, because they're so young at that time that maybe they were just crying, or maybe they just couldn't do it. Maybe they couldn't grow a set of nuts to just be able to handle it at that time. You never know what's going on behind the bench in the
just
locker
can't
room.
see it.
Maybe they were hurt a bit. Maybe they just didn't have it in them. I mean, I know. Yeah,
I didn't see it, but
yeah.
I wanted to look up.
But you can see how a lot of players that like a lot of the fans that are just Leaf fans, but don't dive into anything else besides is our team good or not type thing. And then Hiller pops up. Of course, a lot of people's first thoughts.
Well, I
and
do
second
too.
and third
My
thoughts.
first
But
thought
yeah,
was
even their
what the
second
hell
and thirds, even now they still will be pissed off right into the night probably. But
yeah, that Zaban Mahalik was one of them. He was underrated.
right shot, big defenseman, yeah.
Yeah. What else there? Dennis Seidenberg, another underrated defensive defenseman. He was good. Sean O'Donnell. He put together a really pretty solid defense.
Seidenberg won a cup with Boston in 11, didn't he?
I think so. Yeah, he did. Derek Morris, just underrated guys. And Jomerson and Larson was there. Keith Yandel. It was a pretty solid, deep defense. Now, forwards were less than stellar, but besides
Unless
that,
he's, like you said, unless he's using his cap space to maybe go after another goaltender.
it's possible. I mean, depending on Gustafson's hip surgery, I don't know how long he's going to be back.
Yeah,
I don't
just
think.
don't tell me Markstrom. Don't tell me Markstrom's coming to Toronto. Then I'm going to jump out the window. Then I jump out the window.
Oh, that would be fucking sick, dude. That would be brutal. I can't see it.
No.
I can't see it.
No.
I can't see it. Or Corpusalo or something.
Yeah, don't do it. Sheldon Keefe's going to order fucking more Heimies.
Maybe Cooley in Calgary or something like that. He had a solid year last year. Coleman and Cooley. Coleman would be nice down there on the third line. Put in Jenner. Like, get a good grinding team to go with Nylander, Tavares, Matthews. You get Jenner and Coleman and who else is out there? You know, guys like just surround them like with a really deep team, maybe, and see what happens. Then 2 years from now, they get McDavid and it's over.
Yeah, better puck movers on the blue line and better speed up front. I think that's kind of the gist of they want to build this team.
Yeah. I hope, like, I think the first thing people thought of is you go out and get Andre, and then you get Hiller, who wouldn't play Clark and Spence. And that, equate that together. But I like I said, I didn't mind that deal. You get 4.5 million in cap space. You get a kid that's been improving, a young player that's been improving every year for 2-3 years.
Yeah.
On D that can move the puck.
And a third round pick. A third round pick could turn into a Joseph Wall. I mean, you can get a Joseph Wall with a third round pick. You can get a Benoit or an Ersin. Like those guys you can all get with a third round pick.
Yeah. Ersin, they probably don't sign, I don't think.
They won't.
Yeah, it's probably I don't know why they would even make that move. Maybe they think that somebody out there will see value in it, and maybe they get a late pick for Ersin in the summer or something.
Yeah.
The other thing they could do is not qualify him and then sign him for like give him like a league minimum one-way, not like one league minimum, but the same amount of money in the minors as in the NHL.
It's funny though that Sundin took 2 Swedes back in that deal, eh?
Oh, is Andre a Swede?
Yeah, I think so.
Isn't
he? Or maybe not.
Maybe he is. You know me. I'm terrible.
Yeah, he's from Sweden. Yeah, he's from Sweden. Him and Ersin. Yeah.
Are they going to go off the board?
Then they're like, do we add Steinberg too? We going all Swedish?
Yeah, are they going to go off the board here? Are they not off the board? But I mean, I think Toronto fans will lose their shit if they take Steinberg. Honestly, I do.
Yeah, you can't pass up a 100-point playmaker like McKenna. It's going to take a little while to develop. It's not going to happen right away, but
we'll see. I don't know. There's a part of me that thinks it's possible that they do that. He's compared to like a Raymond. They're analytics driven. Yeah, we'll see. That'd be a mind blower if it happens in the draft. That'll be a mind blower. I know if you look at the odds, if you looked at odds on DraftKings, they're usually pretty accurate, and they got Stenberg going to Chicago.
I think Chicago is trying to trade up for that pick or something. I think it's 1-2, and then the third is a bit of a distance. I think it drops off at 3.
Yeah, but I think I talked about it on this show before. That the more I look, like it's getting more and more in the draft that players will use their agents to get to where they want to go. Like San Jose, he's like, look, you guys got Smith on the right side. My client wants to be an RW, top RW. So unless you're really confident that my client's going to take Smith's spot, we're not really comfortable going to San Jose. And they can still draft him, whether they likes it or not. But if you hear that, you kind of go, well, I don't know if I want to if the guy's not going to be happy being here. Vancouver, that's just an absolute shit show. They could be trading Besser. They've been trying to move Pedersen. They're publicly coming out and saying that it's up to him now. He's got to commit in the summer, meaning he hasn't been committing to training the last couple of years. So everybody seems to be on the table. I wouldn't be surprised if Stenberg went to them and said, look, you guys aren't ready for my guy here. This is
that's why there's word that Malhotra to Vancouver and maybe some type of trade to, because Vancouver's got the second pick, right?
Vancouver's got the third.
Third? Who's got second?
San Jose.
San Jose. Okay.
I think it goes McKenna, unless they blow our minds and take Stenberg. Reed, Malhotra, and Stenberg, and everybody's going to be freaking out. Why didn't they take Stenberg? And I just think that's because his agent is talking everybody off. Because he wants to go to Chicago, I'm sure.
Yeah.
If you were to ask him, where do you want to go? behind closed doors. He wants to play with Bedard under a team that's already been rebuilding, a little more established. He gets a great opportunity to put up his numbers and play right away there. Yeah, it would be the perfect spot for him.
Yeah, it'd be stupid for Vancouver not to take Stenberg and they go and take Malhotra. So that's why, like, where is that fine line of being able to trade up even a spot in top 5? Where, hey man,
I don't think they're going to go through all that. It just doesn't seem to ever be that way. They're just going to pick their guy. See, if they pick Malhotra at 3, they're saying we like this guy's our guy. Blah blah blah. If they trade down, it's like diminishing his value almost a little bit. It doesn't look as good. So very seldom do you see these little trade ups, trades down. It took me a couple drafts to figure out why didn't they pick that player? Why didn't they? But if you look at it from an agent's perspective and a player's perspective, a lot of these moves that are done, you can kind of figure, okay, it's not really the team picking for position. It's more the player saying, I'm going to take a hit financially if I go on your team because you're going to try to pay me as a second line winger. I'm not going to put up the numbers and all that kind of stuff like that.
So when did this become a thing?
I want to be a top guy, all of those sort of things like that. I think come up a lot.
Since when? Like, since when did this become a thing? Like, I never thought about this before. Like,
quite a while.
This has been happening for a long time?
Oh, like, yeah. 2015 draft for sure. Barzal was for sure. His agent was calling Boston saying, you guys got Bergeron, you got Krejci. You have no spot for my guy. He wants to get center money and he wants to be top center. And we're not going to be happy if you select him. And that's the reason why they didn't take him with 3 picks in a row. They had 3 picks in a row in the 2015, and he was selected by the Islanders the very after that. The Edmonton Oilers, they traded for that Reinhart defenseman that never worked out. They used their pick for a trade, and he never worked out. I can't remember how that worked, if they traded down or something or traded for, but they said he wasn't our guy. And everybody was like, what do you mean? Why isn't our guy? But I mean, Draisaitl, McDavid. Like his agent's like, you got no room for my guy. He's going to take a shit kicking financially if he goes there. You're going to play him on the wing. He's not going to get paid as a winger. You know it. He doesn't want to get paid as a winger. So I think all of these things have been happening. How far back? I don't know. Like definitely a certain amount back, this wasn't the case because agents at one time were pretty much owned by owners. I think they were getting scooped by the owners to do. They had way more control, but now agents are single proprietors. They're not attached to the league at all. Like they're what's the word that they use? Freelance. They work for their client and only their client. What you see with Larkin, do you hear a talk at Trocheck today? He changed agents to Larkin's agent because he sees what his agent is doing for Larkin to corner Yzerman to go to Minnesota, and he has a place he wants to go to, and he's like, I like what he's doing, so he switched agents. And that's why agents do that now. Is because
I'm surprised that doesn't happen more often. Players jump agents, or maybe it just doesn't become public.
It's starting to happen more. Jenner changed agents this year. He took that. I feel sorry for him in a way because he took team-friendly deals all the way through there in Columbus, and then they're like, once he starts breaking down and stuff, they kind of let him loose. And I think he just said, fuck this then. Loyalty, schmoyalty. I'm going to get Morris. You got Morris as an agent. That guy's known for cutthroat negotiations. He wants max cash, max term, wherever that's going to take you.
Yeah. And then you hear people complain about this player looking after themselves and thinking about themselves more than the team. But these are instances like Boone Jenner where you've given everything to one team and they run you out until you get hurt. Now they're not just going to pay you, and you just got a certain agent where he could find you a better opportunity somewhere else and work a little harder for you and be against the team instead of with the team. Like you said, they're independent freelance agencies now that it's all about the bottom line for them, just as it is for the team. So
we got it. Larry's probably busy right now. Maybe he can't come on, but he said it started back with Lemieux. He didn't want to get drafted by the Pens, but they picked him anyways. But I mean, they still picked him, right? And any one of these teams can say, screw you, you're coming. But it seems less and less like they want to go that direction. I think they're more forceful. It's hard to take a guy when you don't think he's going to be happy, being there.
Well, the most polarizing one was Eric Lindros. Like, that was the biggest.
Yeah, I wonder if it's true what he said, because he said that apparently the owner hit on his mom or something like that, or did something with it. That's the reason why he wouldn't stay in Quebec. It had nothing to do
I don't know. He probably told his mom to fucking slip the owner a roofie or something.
I don't know. I got to put Hockey Snob Elite. Him and I have been chatting on Twitter, going back and forth at it. I want to give this guy a big high five because he stays following me even though we totally disagree with each other. We've gone back and forth a couple of times. I love the guy because he's staunch on his opinion and he sticks with it. And he's a big Detroit Red Wings fan. And
buddy.
Yeah, and he
he doesn't bends him over too.
Yeah, that's what he thinks is going to happen there, and I'm not so sure that it's going to be quite like that. I think Stevie Yzerman will get a decent return. I don't think I don't think it's going to look like a knock it out of the park when it comes down to it.
But he has to win it.
He has to somehow win it a little bit. Win it like.
Yeah, he's in control. Larkin's not in control.
Yeah, well, sort of. And I mentioned it before. It's going to be an absolute shit show if Larkin's still a wing coming.
Yeah, because players view that as. Yeah, because other people are going to see that on the team, right?
Yeah. I think one of the reasons why, like we were talking about the draft and why teams kind of sway away from players that are saying, I'm not going to be happy there and stuff like that. First of all, if they're not going to be happy there, they might never be happy there and they won't sign long-term with you. And you're going to have a struggle getting with contracts and all that kind of stuff like that. Also, I think now in this NHL compared to back before, the bigger hockey gets, the more power the dollar has with sponsors and stuff like that. The old days where you could just be a hard ass like Yzerman would. There was a time when there was no doubt about it. Yzerman would just say, we're not trading you, too bad. That's it. It's not going to hurt. And everybody would be fine with it. But since we started getting unions involved, now players are more for players. And you've got a guy there that's been, I said it before, I mean, he won an Olympic gold. He's a Michigan guy, was the captain of the team. They haven't been able to build a team around him for 10 years. I think there's going to be a lot of lack of sympathy and a lot of pissed off sponsors. They're not selling Larkin jerseys anymore. Now, that's part of the reason why he wants to get a big return here, because he wants to satisfy that as well. I just think he's getting pigeonholed here a bit. And it's working because, like I said, Trocheck switched to Brisson, the same agent. He sees it happening and going. The players know what's going on more than we do. Players know it. They're talking. Well,
there's another American player, right? There's another player off the U.S. Olympic team chatting with each other too.
Yeah. So I think we'll see if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and good for you, hockey snob elite, if it works out your way. But I think this is going to be a lot more difficult than people think. A lot more difficult. I do think Guerin's going to be motivated to give him a deal, though, because he doesn't want this going in there either. Like, he doesn't want Larkin to be going into the regular season either. Like, and Larkin doesn't want to go in the regular season. So you got three guys that really want this to happen. And I think they'll work out a three-way trade that doesn't work out too bad.
I wonder how long we wait on this, past the draft into July. It'd be interesting. It could happen tomorrow.
I think Stevie Yzerman's going to juice this for every asset he can get. You know, that's what I think is going to happen. And the good thing about it is Stevie Y does have a reputation of being stubborn. So he can play this hard and maybe get Guerin going a little bit, saying, okay, there's the extra first, or there's Brodeen or something like that. So anyways, the next thing that I wanted to talk about, because we talked about Larkin a lot. Oh, okay, yeah, I should still be on. Larry said he should still be on. I should be on. Hellebuck. The Hellebuck rumors going on right now. I personally think these Hellebuck rumors are Winnipeg using the biggest piece they got to get conversations going to make some deals. I know that Connor Hellebuck expressed his dissatisfaction at the at the end of the season. He basically said, I love this city. Yeah, he was very upset that they missed the playoffs for one. And a lot of players generally, it's not the best time to talk to them. After season's over and they miss the playoffs, like, it's just a shitty feeling, especially for a guy like Hellebuck, who's, that guy's about as competitive as you get. And he said something to the lines of, I love this city, and it just seems like the rest of the league doesn't see it my way. And basically, in his own way, saying that, Winnipeg has a tough time attracting players, and he's kind of getting fed up with it. And then the speculation is that he's getting fed up enough that he's kind of said, no, it's, I got to move on. I'm getting older. I want to win a cup and all that kind of stuff like that. In this case, for sure, Winnipeg has the power to make any deal, and he has not come out with any trade request at all. From the digging I have found, there hasn't been any trade request from Hellebuck. I imagine at the very least he's looking to see what Winnipeg is able to do in the offseason. I could see maybe one more season, and then maybe things start perking up a little bit. But he does really love Winnipeg. That I know for sure. He does. He loves it there. He loves the people. He loves the city. He loves everything about it. And if it's his he signed long. He didn't have to. He could have went somewhere else. But now I think after those comments, I don't think Hellebuck is going anywhere. But I do think they're going to use this, and I'm calling this, like, there's other teams that do this all the time. Did it in the past. You take a big player, put it out there, like maybe what Toronto was doing with Nyes, and it just gets when you're wanting to add and you're wanting to have some movement going on in the summer and you want action, you need people talking. So you put Hellebuck out there and you get talk to Florida, you talk, like, teams are going to call just hoping that it's true. And you start finding out what players are available and you got conversation going. And then maybe you start looking at, like, what about our 8th overall? And they're like, like, what could Winnipeg be looking to move that 8th overall now to find a player that doesn't have trade protection that can help them down the road? And those comments that Hellebuck did, he did spin it very good for Winnipeg because he said he really loved it there. And other players don't see it the same way I do, meaning in a sense it's saying, try it out, dude. This place is great. Scheifele likes it there. Connors likes it there, obviously. Sign long. What do you think? Do you think there's any chance Hellebuck is really up for trade, or do you think did you hear what he said at the end of the season?
Yeah. I heard what he said at the end of the season. I know there's teams like Florida out there as well too, but I mean, I don't know, man. There's teams like Vancouver need a goaltender too. He's basically making the same money as Thatcher Demko.
Well, depending on if Demko is healthy or not.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the Leafs are going after Hellebuck.
That's what I was thinking. But, they do have space and stuff. I'm just not. I'm not sure Hellebuck's going to just give up the ghost right now, and I think they're just using him for using this opportunity to get them some things moving. They need a second line center. They made it clear. No, they didn't make it clear. Somebody made it clear. Something happened that said they might have leaked something like they need a second line center and a defenseman. So that's just getting it out there. Who's got the second line center that they're willing to take? Yeah, Larry's a good point. It's just maybe holding Winnipeg accountable and getting this, no more excuses, my friends. Just can't.
That's at the end of the year sounded like when he said that. Like it just seemed like he was pissed off. We need other guys in here. We need a better team type thing. So it's going to be a big off season for Winnipeg to try and find that second line center because
it
was fine when last was up there, but he had Ehlers on the wing.
They added Nyquist. Taves. They gave Taves the bag for 1 year, and but I'm sure that wasn't the top of Winnipeg's list. I'm sure they weren't saying to themselves, if we get Nyquist, we'll be good this year. I can't remember who the other player was. They're going to give it the best they can. I don't think Hellebuck moves though.
Look, I'd send Hellebuck over to Anaheim in a deal for Dostal and Mason McTavish and maybe something else going on there.
Yeah, if you think you can get McTavish to skating up and stuff, I do think that would be a spot because he doesn't have trade protection. I don't know if I would trade Hellebuck, but maybe they could do some with that.
If it gets to the point where he wants out and Winnipeg has to just kind of retool on the fly and get as much as they can for a 32-year-old goalie. Hellebuck's what, 32? It's still not not old for a goalie.
He's got years left.
Yeah.
He's got years left.
Yeah, especially with that size.
Florida, it's all over Twitter trading Lundell. It's not happening, I'll tell you that right now. Lundell is not moving for Florida for a goaltender. No way. No way. That guy's been improving every year. He spiked like crazy last year. It's like an Eriksson Ek, and the way he spiked last year, maybe more. And that organization, they value those kind of 3-zone defensive players a lot. That's why they win cups. Yeah, they're not moving on from them. They may move other pieces, but there's no way it's on down. Yeah,
Pat Brisson is who Trocheck hired, right?
Pat Brisson, yeah.
Pat Brisson,
that's Quinn Hughes' agent. who is
Yeah.
Larkin's agent, who is now Trocheck's agent. Yeah. Scooped up Trocheck's agent. He's in the same spot in a different way than Larkin. You know, he knows he's out there. He does have some no trade. I think he has a 12-team no trade. He has said that he doesn't want to go out west. So I think all of the Western teams would be on that list. But now what's going on in Detroit, I imagine Morris will say, look, there's no way this team in the West is trading for you. Why don't you remove him and put Detroit on there if you don't want to go there? Because, I mean, I don't think anybody's going to want to go to Detroit right now. It's just too much of a mess. Unless it's like the last team available and you want to stay in the NHL, or, you know, the other team is like absolute garbage like Vancouver or something like that. I think that's pretty much bringing anybody in. That's the other thing about trying to get max value for Larkin. It's probably going to have to be a lot of picks and prospects, because anybody with an NTC right now, it's almost July 1st. So anybody with an NTC right now will be putting Detroit on it.
Yeah. LA needs Trocheck. If there's anybody that needs a Trocheck, it might be the LA Kings.
Yeah, I could, but he doesn't want to go to the West. He said that publicly. He doesn't want to go to the West, so that's not going to be it. I could see, I don't know, like if Boston wants to keep rowing that, what they're rowing there.
They need a center. I mean, Fraser Minton was playing
sure.
number one center there. I mean, Zaka.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. I think Columbus will take anybody right now. And Monahan really did look bad last year, so if he wants to go that route. Washington's pretty stacked. Florida doesn't want anything. That's not their focus right now. They got to get a goaltender first and foremost. If it's Bob at $5 million, or New York Islanders would do it, probably, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing, so it's hard to say. It's hard to say. He probably doesn't want to go to Canada either. He's limiting his options here. Carolina, maybe? Another guy like that? Montreal would probably be interested. I don't know if he'd want to go to Canada or not. New Jersey doesn't make sense. I think they're going to sign Heischer. You know, if he's okay to go to Canada, maybe Toronto does that, but I don't know. And what are the Rangers going to want in return for Trocheck? If he goes back to what he was 3 years ago, he was really good. But last 2 years he hasn't looked good. But that environment there has been crap. Everybody's taken a downturn. But we'll move over to the Edmonton Oilers and the Babcock situation. So I'll keep this quick for me. I think they ran out of options.
Well, Vegas kind of cut him off, didn't they? Like, didn't Vegas cut off Cassidy from talking to the Oilers?
Yeah, they did. I mean, I don't know if it was the best idea to hire Cassidy anyways, but I mean, if you're going to hire Babs, it's pretty much the same, but not as good of a systems guy as Cassidy. I don't know. I mean, go on YouTube and listen to some of the things he's did, right? Like, I think, was it Ward? He talked about it where he tried to get Ward fired, and like he's just a control freak, is what I'm hearing from many players out there.
Do you think the Oilers were really going to hire Mike Babcock, or do you think they threw his name out there?
Apparently, he's hired.
He's hired?
It's going to come out right away. Yeah.
Wow.
I think they had Berube there. He's from the Edmonton area. I think Berube had an interview with them, and that whole Cassidy situation that happened, I think Berube said, "Look, I'm playing second fiddle here for sure. I've won a cup. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm stuck in the middle of all this." And I think Berube just said there probably is an opening somewhere down the road. I don't know if I want to get into this mess. I do. I think it was Berube that left that. I don't think Edmonton left Berube. And I think Laviolette had a choice between LA and Edmonton, and who are you taking? At least for lifestyle purposes, LA.
Yeah.
They're just like players. They have problems attracting players. They have problems attracting coaches. So they go to a Babcock who just wants to prove himself again, redeem himself and say that he's a good coach before he fades off into the sunset. So he coaches McDavid and Draisaitl, and hopefully it goes well, but I have my doubts.
Yeah, because there's that investigation that's still going on, right? That they're trying to just kind of put to bed right now.
I've heard that it's not the league has said that basically it wasn't as bad as people say it was. And the person that was the problem, that I thought was the problem, was kind of a crybaby, it seems, everywhere he went. Patrick Lyon. Remember when he was in Winnipeg and he left, and he slammed the organization and said that they wouldn't play him on the top line because it's a clique and all of this crap like that. I mean, I heard that and I was like, that's not true. Winnipeg is not a clique. If Winnipeg wasn't including you, it's because you're not worthy to be included. Like, everybody loves each other in that room. Those guys hang out with each other at barbecues in the summer. Like, they live as a family, those guys. So, yeah, it's a clique, and you're not in it. If you're not in it, there's probably a reason. Same as like Kane back in the day when he was there, when Bufflin strangled him or something. Yeah. So I don't buy that, but that is going to be, I don't know. What's he done? He coached an amazing Detroit team that probably could have coached themselves by the time he was coaching them. Isn't that right?
Yeah, and Team Canada too. Like, those teams basically coached themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, good play. Liked his effort tonight. Was hard on the puck.
Yeah.
You got the puck down low tonight. Just pressured your D. Good man. He's a good player. Good human.
Didn't really say much. I don't see how he did much in Toronto. I don't know, man. He gets this he has this reputation as like this big structured system guy. And I think that just comes from him saying that he's a big structured system guy. I don't know how many, if people are actually saying this or not. I don't know. I know Edmonton says that we need him because he apparently holds everybody accountable and all that kind of stuff like that, and we need that. Maybe. I don't know what that Marner situation was like. I don't. I wasn't there. Oh, Larry joins now.
Hello.
What
Yeah,
up?
actually, it was Larry that sent me all that Hollebuck information. By the way, I should give him. Sent me that.
Yeah, I had a customer today, and he's like, "Yeah, CJOB," and he's like, that they said that no, there's no way Hellebuck requested a trade. I'm like, "How do you know?" And he's like, "Because I know the guy," and he said that he's like, he didn't request a trade. He's like, "It's just all media made," and I said, "Well, I trust you."
Yeah, I don't know, media made or leaked by Winnipeg to. It's good for them. They get conversation going to try to make some moves.
Yep.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was very confident about it. He's like, no. And they even said it on the radio show too. And I went back and found that. I'm like, okay, yep. That's like the voice of the Winnipeg Jets. They do the play-by-play for every game on the radio. So they would have an inside. They'd know the people to talk to.
Essentially because of what he said after the year end, and Winnipeg hasn't made any moves yet, so all of a sudden they're talking about Hellebuck because he was the last one to speak at the end of the year about his frustration. So he's the most controversial voice that was left in their minds. So
Now, do you think it's possible they trade that number 8 though?
Winnipeg?
Yeah.
If it helps them now, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, what are you building? It's like you need to win now. I gotta switch battery.
Yeah. You either got two things to do. Either you tear it down or keep or add people. And if you're keeping Hellebuck, you're adding people as much as you possibly can to get that team going.
There we go.
What is your opinion on Nyes, the ceiling, and your expectation? I'll leave this one to Rico. What do you think the ceiling is for Nyes? I know analytics-wise, I think they're a little higher on them than maybe they could be, but I mean, I love a lot of things about him. So what do you think, Rico? What do you think his ceiling is?
He's good. He's a puck retriever that'll be good for an Austin Matthews if Matthews sticks around. I think he's got size. I mean, he's got hockey sense playing in the college ranks. He's got speed. I think he'd become a pretty decent B-plus power forward in the league. Doesn't have the biggest, nicest set of hands or anything for scoring and stuff, but he'll go to those areas. And he's one of those guys in the playoffs that you'll love to have on your team. So I would hate to lose him.
You think he could get to like a Tuck level?
Maybe. Like, how old is Nyes? 23?
He's got a set of balls on him too. Like, he'll stick up for himself. He'll be a hard guy to play against.
What did he get? I mean, you can't really count. Last year was just a shit show. So like, I don't really. Teams that have like no emotion or like low belief in themselves and stuff, or like maybe even just couldn't get any belief in themselves all year. I don't really worry about their any players' analytics from last year. But full 60 points, I say he's got upside, right? Like, see him as a 70, 75 score third guy. I don't think that's crazy to think that.
At 30, I think he'll do a lot on the ice. The intangibles.
If he plays with Austin Matthews, he can get 30.
Yeah, see, last year his play driving and everything went to shit, but the year before that he was top end. He was really good. So, and the year before that too, he was pretty good. I think he's got finish. I think he can get to close to Tuck level. Maybe not quite that level, but close to. I don't want to. I wouldn't want to. He's got 7.8 for 6. I mean, I'd want something pretty substantial if I'm trading Nyes.
Yeah,
I'm not
there's
just throwing him out there.
Why would Toronto trade him just so you can find another Matthew Nyes replacement? Like, doesn't make sense.
No.
You trade him, then you need another winger. You're going to give up more assets just for another winger. I guess maybe a cheaper winger, but then that winger is going to make that money anyway.
We're thinking Easton Cowan can become a Matthew Nyes and maybe a better version of it, and address another position and need, maybe one or two.
I think he could be good too, but I think Cowan is actually looking a little better than I anticipated. But I don't know why you want to trade either one of them. They're set. They like Toronto. You drafted them. You're bringing them up. They're good young guys. Where are you going? Where are you going if you're trading Nyes?
Unless you're unhappy, unless he was a bad apple in a room or something, and maybe that's why they're throwing him out there. I mean,
again, it's another one of those things where I think maybe he draws attention, and they need to do some moves. So they're listening, but they're listening
trying to sell high on
them.
They're listening to offers to just get a gauge, maybe.
Yeah.
Is Nyes officially on the trade block?
No. There's just a bunch of talk out there, but no. I mean, how do we know if they're on the trade block? You're just making assumptions based on the fact that there's a lot of noise about it.
And the Leafs are all of a sudden really analytically with their GM, and their new coach has an analytic company that he owned, and maybe they've broken that down.
Analytically speaking, for his age, yeah, you're right. He doesn't have like the huge. Oh no, that's Cowan.
I don't see it.
He's got a lot of skill. Like I said, like 2 years ago, he had a really solid play driving and defensive year, and I think that's where he's at. If he stays at that level, I don't see any reason why any analytics person would think we should get rid of Nyes. Let's put it that way. I couldn't see it. No, I think it's just something floating out there, or they're putting it out there to get some talk. I don't think they're serious about it. They're probably asking for like a ton more than anybody would be willing to give.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. If you look at their rosters, you got Matthews and Nyes play together, then Nylander and Tavares. Then on the other two forwards, I guess Easton Cowan can take some minutes. And what other top end forward do they have to fill up the top six? So if anything, they need to add another one, I think.
That's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to add like guys like Jenner and Tolvanen in Seattle. I think they're just going to add as much depth as they can to that lineup. And Radish, if they can get him, if Tampa Bay doesn't sign him, and somebody doesn't just go wacko on the
San Jose.
Yeah, I don't know if I know they need a guy there, but I don't know. What is
11.
He is from Toronto. He's from Ontario, right, Radish?
Well, San Jose offers him $11 million times 7 and a Ferrari.
Oh shit, yeah! I'll go to buttfuck Oklahoma for $11 million. Jeez, absolutely, no doubt.
San Jose has to get to the cap floor too, so
yeah, he doesn't. Yeah. He's not going to have a Kucherov feeding him those bombs on the power play anywhere else.
But he's going to have a Celebrini. So
yeah, if he goes to San Jose.
If he went to San Jose, I would
be well in San Jose. He would be the exact same guy in San Jose. It would actually be pretty wicked.
The only thing is there, he wouldn't have like. He'd have Celebrini, but I mean the overall lineup is still pretty thin. You know, I don't think he's going to look eye test wise as good as he did in Tampa Bay, but he'll still be the same player. And he's making 11 sheets. I don't give a fuck what you think.
Well, they got, like I said, the only thing San Jose has is Orlov one more year at 6.5, and then he's gone. Sam Dickinson at his entry level.
Mhm.
Like they have 3 entry level contracts in Orlov, and that's it. They don't have anybody else.
They got Kessler.
Or Kesselring, they just traded for. Yeah, so they already
Where's
knew. They're like, okay,
Mario
we got to get
Ferrero?
somebody.
Where's Ferrero in his contract?
They're letting him go. They're going to restructure that whole defense. They said.
Yeah.
He's a UFA and not signed yet. They haven't signed him at this point. I think they're letting him go.
That's funny. I thought Ferraro was one of their top guys. They could have got something for him.
The bombshell there is Misa. I'm telling you. See if it happens.
If they were just letting Ferraro go, why wouldn't they have just traded him at the deadline?
Maybe well, first of all, they were trying to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
San Jose was right there for the longest time, but just then fell off.
Yeah. But it's tough to make that when those guys worked so hard to get there to trade a guy like that.
Well, that's another show of respect to the GM as well, too, by not just knowing that your organization's in good hands and going forward, not to just dump a guy like that that's been a staple there of your growth.
He may still resign. Like he's going to test the free agency, but if he doesn't like anything, then he could just resign back there too. I think you're going to see a lot of the free agents test the market this year. They don't want to sign because
they could.
You don't know. They're going to be throwing money out everywhere. Be like, oh, there's 5 guys on our list, and we have to get one of them. And then as one of them goes, the next one goes. You're just going to keep throwing more money. I'll give you this much more.
So how does Buffalo win that trade by trading down 7 spots and losing Kesselring? Is it just because of money? They wouldn't be able to re-sign Kesselring?
That's part of it. Also, Kekalainen is a freaking genius when it comes to drafts. It's awesome. I am not going to say anything about that trade until we see who he picks. If he's got a guy that he likes, it's probably going to hit. If you look at his Columbus work that he did, it was pretty darn good. You got Shinnikov late. Everybody was like, what? He was like totally off the board.
He's got somebody zoned in at 20 that he knows nobody's going to take, which is probably on the draft board at about 32 or 33 somewhere that he just wants to make sure that he gets.
Maybe there's somebody else that likes somebody like that. I heard there's a big drop off after 22. So maybe he wants to use that pick in another trade. And it's more valuable at 20 than it is at 27. So, I mean, I think it was a good pickup for San Jose. I liked him in I liked him in Edmonton. Like he had the raw bones of a guy that could be pretty good. His skating sort of man, but from what I can tell, he's improved every year in increments, something like that.
Who did?
Kesserling. I think he could be a good.
Wasn't he in Seattle or Utah? Wasn't he in Utah?
Yeah, he was in Edmonton. Then he was in
Edmonton too.
Yeah.
Oh. Started
in Edmonton. Yeah. And I watched him. I was like, this guy's got good bones. Like he looks like he's going to be a decent player, and he works hard too. He is extreme. He works on his game hard, and he's one of those serious players. Like he's there to play. Like he's there to become better. He devotes his time into his craft.
How do you get traded 3 times like that? It's interesting how that happens, eh?
He's a slow guy. Like, remember Forbert? How long it took him in LA? He kind of reminds me of that. He just keeps working his ass off every day to get better and better and better. Like he's one of the hardest working players you're going to find. And he is. He's getting like incrementally better all the time. And I think San Jose's just catching him at the right time. Sort of like Pittsburgh with Witherspoon. And like I said, Cale Fleury, I think, is another one of those guys in Seattle. But if you can scoop him up. So I think it was a good move for San Jose, and I don't mind it for Buffalo because they got a lot of people to sign there still. They got Benson to give money to. He even Kesselring might have been like, I really want to have a little more of an open space to have a chance to go as good as I can. And what are you going to do in Buffalo? You got Power, Byram, Samuelson. Like, you're a 3D there. You're not going anywhere past that. When San Jose gets the opportunity to become the best he can be, maybe he only ends up being a 3D, but at least he's got a shot, right? So,
yeah, that's true.
I wonder if this trade happened. Maybe is there any movement? Maybe Tuck might resign in Buffalo.
Nah, I don't think so.
I don't know.
What is the chance of Tuck signs back in Buffalo, or do you think he's gone?
I think he is gone. It's too bad, but I think he is.
But then why do you make this trade then? Like, obviously you're targeting something because
there's not much room on that defense for Kesselring. It might have been just as much Kesselring as it is for Buffalo.
Yeah, I don't think this trade had anything to do with Tuck.
Well, no, they had to re-sign him, so
yeah.
So it's.
Okay. Let's look at it. They're going to give Benson like $8 million for 8 right now. They're going to do. I believe they're going to do the same thing that Carolina did with Stankoven. They did it with Samuelson. They've signed their young players long because if they believe in them, because it's going to work out well in the cap later on. I think that's pretty much. And they don't have much cap space, do
they? They have 12 million.
So
they have to sign Krebs and Benson. So that's probably going to be.
Yeah, I mean, Krebs, like, he's the round king.
As a Krebs needs, I'm not paying Krebs if he wants more than you're offering him.
Well, I think he's got arbitration, so they're gonna have to give him a 1-year deal or walk.
Yeah, they can. I mean, it's arbitration, so I don't know. I know he's like. It's really hard to get rid of Krebs for his belief and love of Buffalo. Like, this guy's the biggest cheerleader out there. He is waist high and Heimies with 2 Buffalo flags scrolling around all over the place.
Who is?
Guy is all Buffalo. Krebs.
Who? Oh,
Hayden Krebs.
Hayden Krebs.
Well, he played all the games last year, 12 goals, 27 assists, 39 points. So what does he get if he did get to arbitration? Probably around $4 million 1 year.
Well, he's not going to play on the top line if he goes somewhere else like he did on Buffalo. Besides,
probably not.
But there's a lot of comparables that are kind of higher now, especially what's his face in Minnesota. So you could probably get $3.5-4 million at least through arbitration on a 1-year deal. So Buffalo doesn't want that to happen.
And what else do they got? They got Malenstein, Tanner Pearson. I mean,
I think this might be the off season of offer sheets here.
I think they signed those 2 guys, and that's pretty much their
team. Well, they got to get rid of. They could get rid of a goalie still, like Alex Lyon.
Yeah. They could do something like that as well. Or do they want to improve their goaltending? And maybe I don't know how they would do that, but Luukkonen plus or something like that. I've been saying it all along. I mean, with his value where it is right now, I wouldn't be too afraid to move on from Quinn. Has
Devin Levi played enough games where or is he still waiver exempt? I don't know. That's the question there, because if Levi has to go through waivers, somebody might pick him up. So then they'd have to move a goalie and carry 3, maybe.
Maybe they're just going to bid a Jew. I mean, he hasn't really been crushing in the AHL. He's a name, but he's not a name that's really.
No, yeah, they'd have to sneak him through like.
Nobody's really offer much for him. I'm looking for him here. Where is he?
He's in the AHL.
Yeah, I know. Non-roster defense. Where's their non-roster goaltenders? Devin Levi is 24.
I don't think he's waiver
He's
exempt.
still under.
So,
He's still under contract. I don't think he's waiver exempt either.
So yeah,
And
Buffalo's
the
got
only
to
way
move him
somebody's
there.
trading for them is if they don't want to risk somebody else taking them. So they could include him in a package or something, and somebody give him a shot.
What did Colton Ellis do this year? He played 6. Yeah, I know he played decent. 2.9 goals against average, 903 save percentage. So yeah, Buffalo's got a goalie issue. What do you do? You got four. You have 4 goalies.
I think they'll find a home for Levi, or he'll end up being on waivers, honestly.
Well, you'll get more for Alex Lyon if you traded him. And he's 33. I'd rather trade the older guy.
Yeah. And then what? Keep Levi up? Because they still got.
Well, Colton Ellis played really good. So, well, him and Levi will battle for the spot. But if waivers wise, then yeah, then. Well, I think Ellis would have to go through waivers too. He's 25 on his last. Oh, wait, no. He's got a 2-way contract. So as long as he doesn't play a certain amount of games, he's waiver exempt, right? Like that's how that works on a 2-way contract. So then, yeah, Devin Levi has to go through waivers. Ellis doesn't. So yeah, Levi would go up and Ellis would go back to the minors.
Assuming that they can trust Levi to be a backup. Maybe that's the plan.
Did he played games this year? I'm pretty sure, didn't he? Oh no, he didn't. Played in the AHL the whole year. He had decent numbers in the AHL, so 52 games.
It was okay. I don't know like how good that team was, so
I have no idea either. But yeah, that'll be interesting. Buffalo's got to move somebody. They got to move somebody. Alex Lyon, what'd he do? Oh, he had decent stats.
Yeah, what does Lyon have? 1 more year?
Yep.
Yeah, they could move Lyon.
That might be good enough for Florida, or that was a good goalie.
Helenus Jordan says is to replace Tuck, but Helenus they want is a center. Oslin plays on the wing on the left side. They're kind of thin on the right side without Tuck. Unless they play, because they have played Thompson on the right side and play. Who do they usually play? For a long time there, they were playing Kulich up there. But what's he going to be after having that blood clot issue for as long as they had?
Tage Thompson is a right shot, so he should definitely be able to play the right wing.
Yeah.
I was trying to
think
right
of now on Puckpedia they got Benson, Norris, Thompson, Joel McLeod, Jack Quinn.
Oh yeah, there. Yeah, Thompson shoots right. Yeah.
Helenus Zucker. Zucker's not as good on the right side. They're kind of stacked on the left.
Jason Zucker. That guy's still around.
Zucker. I always call him Zucker. It's Zucker. Sorry. I don't know why I call him Zucker all the time.
Greenway. Yeah, they got Zucker. Greenway from Minnesota. Minnesota connection. And Josh Stone.
I think it's going to hurt without Tuck there, though, man. I know Helenus looked good in a little window there in the playoffs.
I would just pay Tuck.
It's one thing to play it's one thing to come in with fresh legs and play in the playoffs. It's another thing to play a full 82 at 20 years old as a center in this league. And I like Oslin's overall game. Like, I like them both. I'm not saying I don't like Helenius, but I'm not so sure you can just automatically say, okay, he takes Tuck's spot at this
Unless
stage.
they're not going to carry 13 forwards and 3 goalies. So if you get rid of Lyon for a pick, that saves you 1.5 million. And then if you carry 13th forward, so then that brings your cap space up to 13.5. What does Benson get? Probably
8.
Or maybe they do a bridge. Do they do a bridge deal though, so they can buy?
I think they'll try to go the full 8.
I wouldn't. I'd do a bridge because then you can then do a 3-year. Then you can buy into the UFA years more.
But then you're going to go higher. Or no, you're going to go lower, but eventually you're going to go higher. If you do the 8 for 8, by the time he gets into the 4th and 5th year, that's going to look like a beautiful contract. That's what Carolina's done. Stankoven long, everybody long. Just get these guys in long, especially Buffalo. I don't think they want to. They have a difficult time attracting players as it is. They want to get them locked up.
Well, if you get Benson signed to 4 years, then that puts him at rate with Norris and Thompson when they're done. So then you can give him, if he's a true forward, then you give him the 8 years or whatever it'll be at that point.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot higher. If you sign him for the 8 now, it'll probably be like, now you're looking at 12. He's going to want the bag then. If you give him the short for what are you thinking, like 5 or 6 for 4?
4 year. So then you 1 year away from UFA. So player will like that because then he has a little bit more control. But then if he's really that good and at that point, like a top line forward and ready to go, you pay him the bank to be your number 1. If he's not, if he's kind of coasting and he's not as good, or maybe he becomes injury prone, you never know.
I think
then you're like, okay.
Roll the dice. I think you just roll the dice. That just seems to be what is successful right now.
But Benson scored 43 points, 65 games, so you could probably get him 4 years at 5.5 or 5. Maybe you could, like some kind of bridge deal, something like that.
I don't know.
But then you free up a bunch of cap with Norris and Thompson.
The cap, the way it's going up, $8 million in 5 years is going to seem pretty low. People are going to be like, "That's all Benson is getting." Holy crap!
And dude, what did Benson do all year this year? All of a sudden, he came alive in the playoffs, didn't he?
But he played well all year, but.
Like he was like up and down the lineup. They were playing Peyton Krebs on the top line. Like, were they doing that for a reason?
No,
check his value.
I mean, they got to ask themselves: is Benson the Benson that played all year, or is it Benson the Benson that went crazy in the playoffs?
Yeah, like the guys all of a sudden get
crazy in the playoffs, Benson guy, then you sign him for 8 and get her done. Look at Stankoven.
He's next coming to Brand
Logan Stankoven's got $6 million for 8 right now. That is insane, dude. Blake $5 million for 8, and they rolled the dice on those guys before they actually crushed. They just went with what they saw projection to be, and that's kind of what you're doing with Benson. You know. Maybe you're right. Maybe you can get it done for 6.5 for 8. If you can do that, I think
you got some comments near.
Oh,
what is it?
I'm looking.
Bro doesn't read comments.
Yes, I do. Oh, Rico's been on lots, buddy. We got he comes on to these takes and stuff like that, and it's he's had to take care of some family issues as well. So, what is this line about? NHL is over. Oh
yeah, no,
it's not.
I love
NHL's never over.
I love MLB too. I play softball, so I was like playing softball earlier tonight. So that's why I got my Blue Jays hat on. I just jumped on as soon as I got home.
Do you see what they're paying Jeff Skinner this year? It's $6.4 million on the buyout. Fuck.
Oh, really? Buffalo is?
Yeah. Then
Oh,
it drops to 2.4 for the last 3 years, but
Dude,
that's why
Skinner,
a
is
lot.
there
So
fucking
they're gonna
bigger
get $4
Heimies
million
than
free next
Pearlo?
year.
Is there
What's
a bigger
that?
Heimies? Is there a bigger Heimies, like the laugh of luxury, the lifestyle he'll have for the rest of his life for the performance during that contract? Jeff Skinner, like, dude,
No,
that guy
not
made
not too many. Yeah, I've
Di
never
Pietro.
seen a more selfish player in my life. Even when he was scoring goals, that guy was one of the most selfish players I've ever seen. He'd pop like 25 and then contract year, he'd go crazy, hogging the puck. He had so much skill. He could have been a great player. What did he play? 2 playoff games his whole career, and he made over $100 million.
dude, it's pretty bad. The Oilers even took a shot on him and it didn't work. That's when you know, like, it's not gonna work.
Somebody will sign him though again.
I only bet hockey. That's all I bet, Mario. I'll have futures and stuff like that. I'm on vacation right now. Rico bets baseball, right? You bet ball.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Swag, man. Swag is crushing again. I forgot to mention that. Freaking, he's going crazy on my winnable there. 4 in a row again. Hitting that like 67%. No, nice. Slaving over block shots.
Yeah, now it's World Cup soccer betting time for all you degenerates.
Yeah, wasn't like half the games like ties so far.
Yeah, dude, you know what I've been hitting on is undercards in fouls. Like, they're calling fouls, but undercards, dude, these refs aren't pulling out any yellow cards like for these games. It's unbelievable. It's been lower scoring. Like, they've just been letting shit go, and then yeah. It's been interesting, man.
Yeah,
there was
I was
4 draws
watching.
in one day a couple days ago.
I was watching one game today at work, and they were talking, and literally a guy ran over another guy with the ball, and I'm like, oh, that's definitely going to be a foul or something. And no,
I know.
kept going.
Yeah, no. If you're not
Like,
dead,
what
there's
the
no card. Usually,
Putting
if
the
you're
whistle-
you play
putting the
dead,
whistle
you're
away.
yeah, pretty much.
Trying to get some physicality into soccer.
Well, it's the North American World Cup too, right? So it's not anywhere in Europe. Like, you're playing in the States and you're playing in Canada and stuff. So maybe they're just letting the rough stuff go a little bit further.
Yeah. I loved playing soccer when I was young. I played fullback. I was pretty good, but I can't watch it.
I saw somebody talk about how they put money down on Messi not even scoring a goal because he was too old, and then he scored a hat trick in his first game.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Messi's too old. He's not even going to score a goal. You're right. He scored 3.
But I think we got all the topics now. I got to get to bed early today. I got to be up early in the morning. So thanks for coming in, Larry. Rico again. When will I be on again? Maybe tomorrow night. Maybe it's when I feel like at o'clock is when I'll be on again. Go over to Pearlo's NHL POW. Check out all my stuff. There you can get whatever you want. I just talked about my winnable. You can highlight on the top there. It's highlighted on the top of my profile. You can check it out. And check out a bunch of my tweets. I don't know what the hell's going on. We're friggin' getting like 150 to 200,000 views on my tweets now all of a sudden. It's weird. It's crazy. But maybe it's just the way Twitter algorithm works. So, Larry, what do you got going on in the next little while, right? I know I'm going to ask you that. What's going on in Winnipeg?
Me? Like, I'm off the next 2 days, so I get to relax. I just worked 7 in a row.
7 in a row?
Yep, so I'm off 2 days, so I'm happy, and then grind the rest of the month out.
You go 7 and then 2 off, and then what? Like you just work shit tons?
I work in retail, so days off depend. They rotate all the time.
Oh yeah. But you usually work 7 in a row and then 2 off, or is that?
Not usually, no.
Oh, okay.
Try to have the same days off, but it doesn't always work out.
Yeah. Rico, what are you doing, buddy?
Dude, tomorrow I'm going to listen to sports talk radio in my wireless earbuds and tend to my garden on my day off and enjoy some sunshine out in the yard and bring my cat to the vet at 4 and be a good cat daddy. Enjoy some World Cup soccer whenever I can and keep an eye on the pulse of the Leafs. But, dude, nothing is getting out with the Toronto Maple Leafs right now. This is totally different management now. Like when the Leafs do something, you're not going to hear about it ahead of time anymore. So this is a different regime there, it feels like. Like I think this whole Matthew Nyes thing is blown right out of proportion. I think this is media driven. I don't think that has anything to do internally with the team. So whenever you hear from the Leafs now, it's going to be when it happens, it feels like, unlike years past. So
yeah, I have a feeling we're just going to keep on getting different news topics. So I might be on tomorrow night. You'll check it out. Thanks for coming in, everybody. Listening to Rico and I got to get Larry in there somewhere. Oh, I didn't even put up his Jaime's creations today. For fuck's sakes, Jesus.
Doesn't matter.
All right. Yeah, I do have the thumbnail up there. I don't think they picked Tiller over Bruce Cassidy. I don't think Bruce Cassidy was all that interested in going to Toronto.
Yeah,
I saw the transcript of the Jaime's orders, dude. There's a lot of orders for Jaime's coming in the offseason, dude. Guys are getting ready. Like
this barbecue selection is just absolutely freaking flying off the shelves. Costco can't even keep up. Just the lineups outside the door. They're gonna have to start getting a whole new parking area.
You know what's funny, Pearlo? I was at Costco this morning and they had the display near the front too, like where the electronics section is, and then they have the seasonal section and like the grab and goes where they try to advertise stuff. I saw Jaime skid there, dude.
Right. Yeah. And the samples. Got the samples going on there. Jaime samples, of course. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. All right.
This means something exciting's coming along soon.
You'll see it tomorrow, maybe, and hopefully when I feel like 8:00 and one of these days here coming up. Talk to you later. Thanks for listening. Okay, bye.
Yeah,